ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापतकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः। ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनदानं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Canto 3, text chapter 17th and text number 15. Okay. दृष् दृष्ट्वान्यांश्च महोत्पातान् अतत्तत्त्वविदः प्रजाः ब्रह्मपुत्रान् ऋते भीताः मेनिरे विश्वसम्प्लवम्। दृष्ट्वान्यांश्च महोत्पातान् अतत्तत्त्वविदः प्रजाः ब्रह्मपुत्रान् ऋते भीताः मेनिरे विश्वसम्प्लवः। दृष्ट्वान्यांश्च महोत्पातान् अतत्तत्त्वविदः प्रजाः ब्रह्मपुत्रान् ऋते भीताः मेनिरे विश्वसम्प्लवाम्. Okay, someone can read the translation and the purport also.
शोभा माताजी।
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam, Prabhuji and Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Marking these and many other omens of evil times, everyone but the four sage sons of Brahma, who were aware of the fall of Jaya and Vijaya and of their birth as Diti's son, was seized with fear. They did not know the secret of these portents and thought that the dissolution of the universe was at hand. Purport. According to Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, the law of nature are so stringent that it is impossible for the living entity to surpass their enforcement. It is also explained that only those who are fully surrendered to Krishna in Krishna consciousness can be saved. We can learn from the descriptions of the Shrimad Bhagavatam that it is because of the birth of two great demons that there were so many natural disturbances. It is to be indirectly understood as previously described that when there are constant disturbances on the earth, That is an omen that some demonical people have been born, or that the demonical population has increased. In former days, there were only two demons, those born of Diti, yet there were so many disturbances. At the present day, especially in this age of Kali, these disturbances are always visible, which indicates that the demonic population has certainly increased. Can you raise the screen, Mother? To check the increase of demonic population, the Vedic civilization enacted so many rules and regulations of social life, the most important of which is the Garbhadhana process for begetting good children. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna informed Krishna that if there is unwanted population, Varna Shankara, the entire world will appear to be hell. People are very anxious for peace in the world, but there are so many unwanted children born without the benefit of the Garbhadhana ceremony, just like the demons born from Titi. Diti was so lusty that she forced her husband to copulate at the time which was inauspicious, and therefore the demons were born to create disturbances. In having sex life to beget children, one should observe the process for begetting nice children. If each and every householder in every family observes the Vedic system, then there are nice children, not demons, or automatically there is peace in the world. If we do not follow regulations in life for social tranquility, we cannot expect peace. Rather, we will have to undergo the stringent reactions of natural law. Haribol, Dandavat Pranamat. Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so this is the episode of victory of Hiranyaksha over all the directions in the universe. And the birth are mentioned here. In the previous verse also, it is mentioned that the Mangal Graha and the Shani Graha, they were, shining very brightly. And whenever the Mangal Graha and the Shani, when they are in the houses of their rivals, especially the Buddha, the Guru, and Shukra. And how do they come in that house, in that zodiac sign, in the 12 houses? When these two planetary systems, the Mangal and Shani, they take a retrograde. They become a little slower, and then they catch up with those other planets in their houses. So it is like another enemy has entered into our house. So obviously there will be a disturbance. So of course, in the astrology, uh, there is individual astrology also, where an individual is born according to his previous karma, not because the planetary systems have forced him to be born in that situation. It is only because of his previous karma, the destiny actually arranges his next birth in such a way that whenever that particular planetary situation is ready, he takes birth at that time. It's not that the planetary systems are forcing us; it is our own karma which is forcing us to take birth at that particular situation. That's for individual. But for collectively, for the entire world, for the entire universe also, there is the situation of the planetary system. When the Lord is appearing, when Lord Krishna is appearing, or when Lord Chaitanya is appearing, the planetary systems are perfectly situated. Or when there is going to be a big calamity in the world, when there is going to be a world war, or when there is going to be a demoniac, entity who is going to take birth, like in this case, Hiranyaksha or Hiranyakashipu, who is going to create disturbances all across the universe, then that bad sign, the bad omen, the malefic planetary systems are going to be colliding with the benevolent planetary systems. So this is predicted by the great astrologers, by the great rishis, the Trikalagnani rishis. So that is how, it was known that something bad was going to happen. So that way, the whole universe was going to be under trouble when Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, when they took birth. So here it is also mentioned how uh, because of Diti's unnatural inclination towards copulation with her husband during the wrong time resulted in the demon being created. As per the Shastra, copulation with one's husband should be, at an appropriate time after, the monthly cycle, after 5 to 6 days, and then up till the 12th day, and then it should not be on a full moon night. It should not be on an Amavasya night. It should not be on an Ekadasi. It should not be on Ashtami. So many rules. Simply by hearing that, one will eventually say, difficult to keep track of the calendar. And it's better to give it up altogether. So that should be the frustration which should be caused, because the scriptures are very, very stringent, when it comes to that part. So anyway, so the Aditi had, at the wrong time, she was, entreating her husband, to copulate with her. And that is how, because of the bad time, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they were born. And also in the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning how Varna Sankara is created. Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharma abhibhavat. Kulakshaye pranashyanti, when great families are destroyed, whether it is a Brahminical family or whether it is a great Kshatriya king on these planets, when they are destroyed, what happens? Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatana. So the Kula Dharma also is destroyed. The Kula Dharma of protecting the people in a Kshatriya family, or the Kula Dharma of the Brahmanas to guide the Kshatriyas in maintaining proper administration in the planet, all that is completely lost. Kula Dharma Sanatana. Dharme nashthe kulam kritsnam adharmo bhivavat. So adharma actually increases. Adharma bhivavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriya strishu dushtashu varshneya jayate varna sankara. So, adharma bhivavat Krishna. When adharma increases, when nobody is following the prescribed duties, the varnashrama duties of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, and Brahmacharya, when they are not following their duties, then pradushyanti kulastriya. The women of the different, varnas and orders, they are completely contaminated. So we have seen, all these conditions in the past also. I don't know if you are aware, during the time of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and during Bhakti Vinod Thakur, uh, a lot of, because the Bengalis were all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas in Bengal, they were like, they were having ashrams in Vrindavan, because a lot of Gaudiya Vaishnavas had traveled and they settled down in Vrindavan. So at certain point of time, these ashramas were encouraging, all these widows, the widows who have lost their husbands, who wanted to give up everything, and they wanted to practice devotional life in Vrindavan and in Bengal also to a certain extent. They were joining the ashrams because they were encouraged, because they had nobody to take care of, and they would get easy prasadam, and they will do some devotional service, chant the holy name and things like that. So many widows were actually joining the ashrams, but unfortunately they were abused. They were taken for granted, and the so-called Vaishnava or a religionist, they started indulging in illicit relationships with them. So that is how the Vaishnavism also got a very bad name. That all these so-called Babajis or so-called Vaishnavas, they were engaging with the widows, in illicit relationships, and that became a very big thing. So, of course, to a great extent, it has come down now. We may not be aware, but it may still be there. But the kind of prevalence it had during the early, more than a century back, was very, very much prominent than what it is today. So that kind of situation existed because there is nobody to guide, the women. They couldn't understand. They can easily be, manipulated. They can easily be, tricked. So that way, the women are not protected, especially when they do not have a family member like a son or a husband or the father who's protecting her. Then the outsider will eventually, they'll take advantage of her and abuse. So this is one example like that. We have many other examples also in the Shastras. So the protection is nas nahya aswatantram nahya swatantram arhati. Women do not have independence. They do not have an independent. In fact, they don't have an independent nature. So they cannot be given independence. They cannot be given independence doesn't mean that we restrict them and control them. It means that because they're not intelligent enough to handle themselves independently. So the scripture says they should always be protected by the family members, husband, son, or father. That is the reason why it is mentioned. Unlike the feminists who think that it is some kind of abuse where there is no equality given to the women. So they try to make this egalitarian society where men and women are on par. They are same. They want the same equal package in an IT company or maybe in a Bollywood industry or a Hollywood industry. They need to compete with men and they want to have the same package, or they want to be a pilot and have the same package or whatever. Yeah, nothing wrong if they want to, but the point is physiologically, a woman's body and a mental structure is not the same as that of a man. So the man has been made more uh, stronger, powerful, both mentally and physically than that of woman's body. So obviously, she needs protection in that sense also, and from the sense of also uh, and with lesser intelligence because she will not be able to handle. So with that intention, the Manu Samhita has been written. But unfortunately, certain sections of the society do not really understand, what what it actually means. They think that there is so much of casteism or there's so much of abuse of women or demeaning their situation or belittling their situation or their condition, and they want to uh, you know come up with this revolutionary uh, feministic ideas and want to give equal status to women. That will not happen. It will not happen, nor will, even if it happens also, it only causes a disaster, which we have seen in the past. So there are, even during Srila Prabhupada, when he went to the US, there was this, women's liberation movement that was going on. That Prabhupada told, if the man impregnates a woman and then he goes away, then what will you do? The government will protect you, maybe. Then, but what is the use? He just abused you and you went, and you are going to sit and suffer the whole life. So something like that. So many examples are given by Srila Prabhupada also. So yes, the Varna Sankara happens only because of the pollution. No? Adharma vibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriya. Pradushyanti. Mind is contaminated. Strishu dushtashu varshneya jayate Varna Sankara. And when the woman is corrupt, when her consciousness has been corrupted, then all the population, when she is not chaste, when she is unchaste, then all the population that comes in the world, they are all Varna Sankara. They are nothing but that's another name for demon. That's it. Because that only creates chaos in the society. Nobody can, expect peace, like Prabhupada mentions here. No one can expect peace with that kind of a population in this world. It's a contaminated population, which is born out of lust and nothing else. So Sankaro Narakayaiva Kulagnanam Kulasya Patanti Pitaro Hesham Lupta Pindodaka Kriya. So Sankaro Narakayaiva. This kind of population is as good as hell. They create hellish situation on this planet. Narakayaiva. Kulagnanam Kulasya. They are destroyed the entire big families, the family traditions, everything. Patanti pitro he sham lupta pindodaka kriya. So they give up. Lupta pinda udaka kriya is nothing but udaka is tarpana and pinda is nothing but shraddha ceremony. Shraddha and tarpan, they stop giving it for their forefathers, for their ancestors, because of the forefathers and ancestors only, because of the pitris only we have this body. So we, out of gratitude, they perform that. But unfortunately, all that has stopped. So patanti, along with their forefathers. Patanti pitaro hiesham lupta pindodaka. All their forefathers fall to hell, and these people who do not perform their family tradition, they also go to hell. And in this whole world, we see in the Western civilization, there is no concept of what do you call pindadan or shraddha or anything for that matter. So everybody is actually headed towards hell. This is what happens. So it is not so easy that, somebody gets heavenly planet. Interestingly, there is a big propaganda going on the internet. I don't know how much of you are aware. Please forgive me if it is, too much going above your head. Just sharing that the propaganda is, all these Christian missionaries, they show this near-death experiences of the Christians. And in that, all these Christians, they say, oh, when I was dying, actually, I could see a white light coming towards me. Then I was moving towards that white light. And then after that, suddenly I entered into a realm where there was complete greenery and everything was beautiful, wonderful. I was flying in the air. The atmosphere was very cool and bright, and there were angels who were greeting me, and they were taking me to different places. And then I met some great angels or guides, and then suddenly I felt this deep attachment for my family, and then I came back into my body, and now my life is completely changed for good. Now I am able to realize how what is the value of life and this and that. These are those same meat eaters. They break all the regulative principles. They kill, they eat meat, they eat steak in their breakfast, and they have illicit relationship, and they are intoxicators. So you can't expect to go to heaven by doing all this. You cannot. So it's a big propaganda just to attract, fool people on the internet by near death experiences, saying how, after death, you are able to see heaven. And so that people get inspired and they say, oh, Christianity has that solution. Let me go, let me follow Christianity. This is what they do. Not hiding the fact that Yamadutas come. Yamadutas don't come only for Hindus in India. They come for all the living entities across all the planets, sorry, across all the countries in this world. So nobody, they may hide the fact, but nobody can, deny the reality. So that will definitely happen. So one should be aware of it. One should not be carried away thinking that, oh, Christians are also, they're going, um, to the, what do you call, mm, to the heavenly planet. So, probably, that is also a good place. They are also pious people. So, of course, if they are pious, then yes, but a majority of them are not. So, we should not be bewildered. We should know what is what. So, it is very important to know, have Shraddha, faith, complete, you know, understanding and knowing that, Shastra, the Vedic Shastras are the reality. So, that's very important. So apart from this, then the Garbhadhan Samskar is also mentioned. Very important that the Grihasthas, they have to go through this process of Garbhadhan Samskar. Actually, it is a yagya, which is performed by Vaishnava Brahmanas. But unfortunately, in the age of Kali Yuga, it is not perfectly performed. The yajna is not perfectly performed. So that is why from a Vaishnava Paddhati, from Gaudiya Vaishnava Paddhati, we have just modified the Garbhadan Samskar in such a way that one can chant the holy names 64 rounds, invite all the Brahmanas, feed them prasad, Bhagavat prasad, and then, husband and wife can get together to procreate children. So that is Garbhadan Samskar, which is recommended. And for that Garbhadan Samskar also, the uh, the Grihastha is expected to take permission from the spiritual master. Unfortunately, a majority of us are not really interested in taking the permission from the spiritual master, or we may think it is not very important to take the permission from the spiritual master, or we may think it is shy. We feel shy to, ask permission for various reasons. Then we don't, and we we make our own plan. So but at least the Garbhadan Samskara, has to be performed. One should also read this book by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami, Mothers and Masters. Very beautiful book, very, very nice book. And majority of, the Matajis, in our institute, we are yet to follow, all those things which Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in various lectures, purports, and conversations and room talks, about the duties of women, Stri Dharma. So it is very important. We need to follow that. All that is given in this book, Mothers and Masters. It's very important. Unfortunately, sometimes, some section of uh, Vaishnavas may also feel that is too heavy, but no, it is not, because these are the instructions given by the founder Acharya. So there's no question of, speculating, thinking that some things are appealing, some things are not appealing according to our own whims and fancies. We can't do that. We have to accept, whatever has been given by great Vaishnava Acharyas like Srila Prabhupada as it is. We should not, think I can reject this and I can accept this principle, I can accept that principle, but I'll reject this principle and I'll reject that principle. We can't do that. We have to accept everything as a whole. So that's important. So Garbhadhan Samskar has to be performed. Women need to cover their head, their body. Women, mothers, they are called as mothers. All the women are called as mothers. They are also called as grihini. Grihini means the one who stays at home, not that she becomes a Air Force pilot or something. Of course, there's nothing wrong if she is able to serve, but ideally she is grihini. She is considered grihini. Because, if she is walking on the road among men, or she's walking in some society among men, if she has not covered her body properly or head properly, then she becomes a victim at the lusty eyes of the men. We all know this, if somebody is walking on the road, we can easily make out. This is not nothing strange, It's a very common affair in the Kali Yuga. So there are always men's eyes which are staring at somebody who's scantily dressed or who is not covered properly and things like that. So, and yeah, to a very great extent in the Kali Yuga, uh, we hear in the newspapers how the fathers are abusing the daughters. Can you imagine? Such a bad situation has come. We had only heard about incest and other things, but today fathers, brothers, father-in-laws, brother-in-laws, they are abusing women. That is the degradation which is there in the human society, and that too in the beginning of the age of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is not even a baby now. You can think, there's another 4,28,000 years to go. And this is the situation in the beginning of Kali Yuga. So basically, the situation is bad. There's one community, I don't want to specify and name it. They treat women just as slaves. They're beaten, they're just treated as slaves. They're just abused. I don't want, I think probably this may be going on the internet, but anyway. Uh, So that is a situation, that is a very bad situation of the current society and for the women. So all this is mentioned by uh, Vyasadev. Vyasadev talks about all of this in the 12th canto about the symptoms of the age of Kali. How in the age of Kali Yuga, the degradation goes to that extent that it'll be a very bad situation. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go to the next one. Text number 16. तावादि दैत्यो सहसा व्यज्यमानात्मपौरुषौ ववृधाते स्म सारेण कायेनाद्रिपति इव. Someone can read the translation and purport.
Sarvana Gandhi Mataji. Sarvana Gandhi Mataji, please read the translation. Okay, Vaishali Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
May I read, Mataji?
Oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, please, Prabhu. Go ahead.
Translation. These two demons who appeared in ancient times soon began to exhibit uncommon bodily features. They had steel-like frames which began to grow just like two great mountains. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. There are two classes of men in the world. One is called the demon and the other is called the demigod. The demigods concern themselves with the spiritual upliftment of human society, whereas the demons are concerned with physical and material upliftment. The two demons born in deity began to make their bodies as strong as iron frames, and they were so tall that they seemed to touch outer space. They were decorated with the valuable ornaments, and they thought that this was a success in life. Originally, it was planned that Jaya and Vijaya, the two doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, were to take birth in this material world, where by the course of the sages, they were to play the part of always being angry with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As demonic persons, they become so angry that they were not concerned with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but simply with the physical comforts and physical upliftment. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
I hope everybody is able to follow what I'm saying, because it looks like, somebody was completely off understanding. If not, I can keep it simple.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Yes,
No,
it's
you are
we are
hearing,
listening.
Prabhuji. We are following. Hare
We are
Krishna.
listening, Prabhuji. We understand. Thank you.
Okay. So these two demons who appeared in ancient times soon began to exhibit uncommonly bodily features. They had steel-like frames, very powerful body, very big, and they were growing like big mountains. So Prabhupada mentions in the purport that द्वाविमौ भूतसर्गोऽस्मिन् दैव आसुर एव च विष्णुभक्तो स्मृतो दैव आसुरस्तद्विपर्ययः. The scripture tells us that Dvavimau Bhuta Sargosmin. There are two types of people in this world, in the material world. Sarga means material world. Who are they? Daiva Asura Evacha. The scripture does not tell us, the two types of people are man and woman or humans and demigods. No, it says Daiva and Asura. Vishnu Bhakto Smrito Daiva Asuras Tadviparyayaha. The one category is Vishnu Bhaktas, they are known as Daiva. And Asuras, anybody who is a non-devotee is an Asura. Asura does not mean somebody with horns and big teeth. No. Anyone who's a non-devotee, he is an Asura. Vishnu Bhakto Smrito Daiva Asuras Tad Viparyayaha. Anybody opposite to that is known as Asura. That is the definition. So that is the understanding of the two types of people in this world. It can be a family member, it can be a neighbor, it can be somebody else. And we should also not forget that we also were asuras at one point of time, unless and until, some devotee we came across and he showed his mercy by giving us a book, or maybe he took us to the temple, we heard a kirtan, and somehow we got inclined towards becoming daiva. So that is the way of, becoming a devotee of the Lord. So Vishnu Bhakto Spirito Daiva. And here it is mentioned how the powerful bodies of these demons is very, very, what do you call, similar or prevalent even in the age of Kali Yuga. You see, all these, the gundas or anti-social elements. Generally, if you see in the movies, there's one villain who's like a demon, and he has his own bodyguards who are all powerfully well built in their body. So it is a sign of demon. The Vaishnava is not interested in building his muscles. A Vaishnava is not at all interested in building his muscles and showing off his, hefty, heavy body. It's a sign of demon. The demons think like that when I have a powerful body, nobody will be able to overpower me. And I will be able to control everybody, and I will be able to overwhelm everyone. So that is how they think. So that is why, the demons go to the gym, they maintain their body, they make sure that they eat meat, because by eating meat, they get a lot of protein, and then that protein will, you know, give them good muscle structure. So that way, that is their thinking. A Vaishnava is not interested in it. A Vaishnava is no more interested in maintaining the body so well. Although he maintains his body simply by waking up early, eating very little, and sleeping early, and focusing on the chanting of the holy names. So Bhagavad Gita says, the mentality of the demons, how do they think? They say, idam adya maya labdham imam prapsyase manoratham idam asti idam api me bhavishyati punardhanam. अतो वा हतः शत्रोर हनिष्ये चापरान अपि ईश्वरोहम अहम भोगी सिद्धोहम बलवान सुखी आढ़्यो भी जनवान अस्मि कोन्योस्ति सदृशो मया यज्ञ दास्यामि मोदिष्य इत्यज्ञान विमोहिता. So this the symptoms of demons and daiva is this comes in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where how does a demon think? He says, "Idam madhyamaya labdham." Today I have obtained so much wealth, or so much of women in my family, or whatever. Himam prapsyate manoratham. So by my power of my mind, I'm able to attain. Idam asti idam api me bhavishyati punardhanam. This much has been my wealth. In the future, I will make sure that I will earn more wealth. And atova hatha shatro. I have killed this, and that enemy. And in the future, I will kill the other four enemies that are left. So, अथवा हतः शत्रु हनिष्ये च परानपि. The others I will kill them later. Ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi. I am the Ishwar, I am the controller. I am the most powerful. I am the politician. I am the, a member of the parliament, or, whatever. So, Ishwaroham aham bhogi. I am able to enjoy. Siddhoham balavan sukhi. I have attained everything. I am Siddha. I am Balavan and I am Sukhi. And not only that, they think Adhyo bhi janavan asmi. Konyosti sadrishomaya. Adhyo means there are hundreds of people surrounding them. If when a politician walks in some place, hundreds of people are there with him, his followers are there. Or if he's seated at his home, there are hundreds of, servants and ministers, and, he can tell anyone anything, and they will, do it at the drop of a hat. They're very quick in, getting his, his orders fulfilled. So, Adhyo bhi janavan asmi. All janas are, surrounding him. He's powerful. He's rich. He has all the wealth. He's killed many enemies. Kon yosti sadrusho maya. Who is there? Where is there another fool? Where where can you find another fool? Has anybody, been equal to me? There is nobody like me. I'm the most powerful. Then, yagya dasyami modishya. He is saying that I am also religious. It is not that I am a demon. I am also religious. Yagya dasyami modishya. I am giving in charity. I am performing yagya. I am doing Kali puja. I am, sacrificing for Kali. And, I am giving in charity to people. I have hospitals and anath ashrams and so many things. I am the one who's feeding all these poor people. So I am doing so many things for the society. So obviously, I am as good as the Supreme. So, Yagyadasyami Mudisha, Iti Ajnana Vimohita. Such is the situation of the bewildered demons who think like that. Hmm. They are like, chapter says, Bhagavad Gita, Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasara. न शौचम नापि चाचारो न सत्यम तेषु विद्यते. What is pravrittim cha nivrittim cha? What is good, what is bad, they are not aware. They think whatever I do is all good. They don't go by Shastra or Brahmanas or anything like that. No. Jana na vidurasura. They don't know what is pravritti, what is nivritti. न सत्यम नापि चाचारो न ते सो न शौचम नापि चाचारो न सत्यम तेषु विद्यते. They are never clean in their heart also and externally also. Even by chance, if they are externally clean, they are never clean in their hearts. So, na shaucham. Na api cha acharo. They don't have a proper character. They have a demoniac character, that's all. They don't have a decent character. Na chacharo, na satyam deshu vidyate. They can never speak the truth. They are big liars. They are only meant for their own selfishness and nothing else. So that is the situation. And what do they say about the Supreme? What is their opinion about the Supreme Lord? They become angry. They cannot accept the Supreme Lord. They say, Asatyam apratishtamte jagadahur anishwaram apparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kamahaitukam. So asatyam, there is no such thing as the Supreme Lord. It is nonsense. Apratishtamte, there is no foundation for this material world depending on the Supreme Lord. Wrong. Jagadahur Anishwaram. This whole world is Anishwara. It has no Ishwara. According to our own karma, we are able to make or break things. It is all depending on us. Anishwaram. Apparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama haitukam. It is all because of karma. Because of karma, the population has come up. Because of my karma, because of my desire, I can achieve whatever I want. So everything depends on us. So this is how the world is created. So kim anyat kama haitukam. There is no other reason apart. Anyat is not there. Kim anyat kama haitukam. There is no reason save and except for myself. I am the only reason for this world to exist. And whether the world is made or broken, all because of me. So that is how they completely reject the existence of a controller of this universe. Forget what to speak of spiritual world. They don't even accept a Lord or a Supreme for the material world. So they have no awareness of a spiritual realm or para prakriti. Etam drishtim avashthabhya nashtatmano alpa buddhaya prabhavanti ugra karmanaha kshayaya jagato ahita. So here it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada is actually talking from Bhagavad Gita only here. What is their drishti? Etam drishtim avashthabhya nashtatmano alpa buddhaya. They are dull-headed alpa buddhi. And nashtatmano. Their only aim is to destroy this world. But they think that, they are doing good. So, nashtatmano alpa buddhaya. And prabhavanti ugra karmana. Ugra karma. What are the ugra karmas? Establishing big industries, making everybody work hard, and manipulating the population, cheating the population, bringing about, things like COVID. COVID was an experiment. COVID was an experiment with the demons. to wipe out majority of the population. They thought the old age is like the old people are like a burden on this planet, and better to get rid of them. So it was an experiment, and to a great extent, it was successful. So, and they also, the same demons also released the same, what do you call, the medicines, the vaccines. Common man does not know. Common man is a sheep. He's a goat. He does not know. The butcher is standing next to him and chopping the other goats, but he cannot see, he cannot realize, he cannot understand. He will see news and he will accept whatever is being told in the news as a fact. That's it. Our situation is that. So, but the demons are not like that. They're intelligent. So, that way, this prabhavanti ugra karmanaha kshayaya jagato ahita. They never do hita to the world. They do ahita only. And they engage in ugra karma. Very ugra karma. To cheat the population, to trouble the population, to destroy the population, to control the population, to enslave the population. So they do all the, all big, big politicians. Even in fact, politicians also are puppets in the hands of certain, bankers. So many things are there in this world. So like that, the demons have, all these qualities. The principal qualities of demon is dambho, darpho, abhimanascha, krodha, parushyameva, ajnanam chabhijatasya partha sampadam asurim. What is the sampada of an asura? That is mentioned. Partha sampada asurim. Dambha is arrogance. Darpa, conceit, pride, conceit, damba, darpa, abhimanascha. Abhimana is also the same, pride, excessive pride. Pride cometh before a fall, Bible says. Damba, darpa, abhimanascha. Krodha, too much of anger. Krodha, parushyam. Parusha is very harsh words. They can abuse and scold anybody, and there's nobody to control them. Ajnanam chabhijatasya partha sampadam asurim. These are the qualities of a demon. So very carefully, devotees also by mistake, if we express any of these emotions of anger, hatred, envy, jealousy, harsh speech, then we are also having demoniac qualities. Simple. Because the Vaishnava should not be having these. So we should work on them. The minute we have these, and we can no longer consider ourselves as devotees. Although we may be putting on a tilak and a dhoti or something, we can never be considered as devotees. So we should be careful with. So these are the qualities of a demon. How they're very powerful, very well built. Big big tattoos and muzzled men. So that is the nature of this world. Nature of the demons in this world. Okay, let's go to the 17th, 18th. Let's do 17th. दिवि स्पृशौ हेम किरीटकोटिभिर्निरुद्धकाष्ठौ स्फुरदङ्गदाभुजौ गां कम्पयन्तौ चरणै पदे पदे कट्या सुखान् कट्या सुखाञ्च्यार्कम् अतीत्यतस्थतुः. Yes, some can do the translation.
Vaishali Mataji, translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Their bodies became so tall that they seemed to kiss the sky with the crests of their gold crowns. They blocked the views of the direction and while walking shook the earth at every step. Their arms were adorned with brilliant bracelets, and they stood as it covering the sun with their wrists, which were bound with excellent and beautiful girdles. Hare Krishna.
Anita Mataji, put.
Hare Krishna.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
In the demoniac way of civilization, people are interested in getting a body constructed in such a way that when they walk on the street, the earth will tremble, and when they stand, it will appear that they cover the sun and the vision of the four directions. If a race appears strong in a body, their country is materially considered to be among the highly advanced nations of the world. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Very interesting, huh? The same principle which I was talking about. Big built bodies, they want to scare the world by their ugra karmas and ahitas. And if a race appears strong in body, the country is materially considered to be among the highly advanced nations. Probably, Srila Prabhupada is referring to USA, maybe, or Russia, or whatever. So if you're powerful in your body, then you're also materially advanced, militarily powerful country. So this is the nature of the demons. What more can be said? So that is a way of, even bullying other nations. If you have a powerful military uh, and you have, strong, well-built men, then you can bully around any country in the world and go around scaring other people because you are materially advanced. You have big, big technologies and you can scare people. So that way a country becomes, you know, advanced materially. That's how it is considered. Okay. What else? Yeah, this, all this, everything, uh, in Kali Yuga, almost all the population is Varana Sankara. Almost all population is a demon. So people are fighting with each other, USA, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, more or less, they all fall in this category of demon. So, in the name of protecting ourselves, they don't care what happens to others. They're eager to destroy people, wipe them out, wipe out other races. There's no question of, you know, daya, mercifulness, tolerance, patience, humility, forgiveness. No such things exist now in the age of Kali Yuga. In fact, Bhagavatam says that tataschan udanam dharma satyam shaucham kshama daya kalena nati kalena balina rajan nangshatyayur balam smriti. Tatascha anudinam, day by day, what is happening? Dharma, then Satyam, Shaucham, Kshama, Daya. All these are lost. Dharma, then Satyam, Shaucham, cleanliness, Kshama, mercifulness and forgiving, tolerance, then Daya, mercifulness. So these are all completely lost. Kalena balina rajan nangshatyayur balam smritihi. By the influence of time in the age of Kali Yuga, nangshanti, everything is destroyed, even Ayu, Balam, and Smriti. Even our lifespan reduces. No longer Kali Yuga is Kali Yuga Prani is having 100 years. No, that is gone. If you survive for 50, 60, 70 years, it's a big achievement. So Ayu, then Balam, the physical strength and also the mental strength are completely gone down. Then Smriti, memory, no memory, nothing, zero memory. For everything we have a laptop, for everything we have a phone, for everything we have, somewhere something is stored online, digitally, cloud, this, that. And our memory has become a big zero because we can't remember anything. So Ayur Balam Smriti. So all of that is completely lost. That is a symptom of the age of Kali. What happens to the human beings? The demons are powerful. Uh, they are demoniacally intelligent. But general populace is dull. Prayana alpa ayushaha sabhya kalavasmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya yupadruta. They are manda, dull-headed, manda bhagya. They are most unfortunate. They are manipulated, abused, treated like slave. So, yupadruta. So that is the situation in the age of Kali. Many other symptoms are there in the age of Kali. So So the situation is that we are in a very bad situation of the age of Kali with all the bad symptoms. And over and above that, there are these powerful nations having powerful military who are trying to control the other countries as if they are like their pet dogs. So that is a way of demoniac civilization that is being emphasized here in this purport. Okay, we'll go to the last one, 18th. Okay. प्रजापतिर्नाम तयोरकार्षीत् यः प्राक् स्वदेहाद् यमयोरजायत तं वै हिरण्यः कशिपुं विदुः प्रजा यं तं हिरण्याक्षमसूतसाग्रतः. Yes, translation purport.
Sindhu Mataji, translation.
Yes, Pranam Shubhaji. Text 18. Translation. That's Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kashyapa Prajapati, the creator of the living entities, gave his twin sons their names. The one who was born first, he named Hiranyaksha, and the one who was first conceived by Diti, he named Hiranyakashipu.
Prashanti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There is another authoritative Vedic literature called Pinda Siddhi, in which the scientific understanding of pregnancy is very nicely described. It is stated that when the male secretion enters the menstrual flux in the uterus in 2 successive drops, the mother develops 2 embryos in her womb, and she brings forth twins in a reverse order to that in which they were first conceived. The child conceived first is born later, and the one conceived later is brought forth first. The first child conceived in the womb lives behind the second child. So when birth takes place, the second child appears first, and the first child appears second. In this case, it is understood that Hiranyaksha, the second child conceived, was delivered first, whereas Hiranyakashipu, the child who was behind him, having been conceived first, was born second. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Dandavat. So very interesting. I was also not aware. So this Pinda Siddhi book, some Shastra, so many scriptures were there, but they are all destroyed and burnt by the Mughals in the past, and also in Nalanda and Takshila universities. They had millions of Shastras. They are all burnt and lost. So this book is talking about how the science of pregnancy, how the male secretion enters, and then so Hiranyaksha was born first, so he is the elder brother, and Hiranyakashipu is born second, who is the younger brother. But in reality, Hiranyakashipu was conceived first because he entered first, and Hiranyaksha was conceived second because he entered later in the womb. But they do not come out in the same order. So they come in the opposite order only. So that is why who entered late, he is coming out first. So he becomes the, in conception, Hiranyakashipu is elderly, but in birth, he is younger, something like that. So this science is given here. I don't think this detailed science is there in modern. I don't know if the modern science is aware of this also or not. Very interesting. Okay, thank you very much. I like to conclude here. Karantaraj Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If there's any questions or anything, please ask.
Jai. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Your classes are always an eye opener for us. Some things which are, sometimes people don't say it very bluntly, but you say it so clearly, and it directly goes to our heart, and definitely we understand it. I am sure about all the audiences also. Okay, so we have 2 people to ask questions. We'll take Padma Mataji's question first. Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. The last shloka you said 3 things, Ayur, Balam and Smriti. Balam and Smriti, I understood physical strength and memory. What is Ayur, Prabhuji?
Ayu is lifespan.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. That's all. Dandat Pranam.
Suma Mataji, yeah, please.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Prabhuji, my question is regarding the Vaishnava Aparadha, Prabhuji. Like, we are supposed to see everyone as a Vaishnava, no, Prabhuji. Not that only the devotees who are practicing with us.
Correct.
So, but we forget in our daily life. But what we think is, after this satsanga is over, we'll just go and we'll have to meet the people around us. So we forget that they are also the devotees because they are also the children of God. So, and we do and act accordingly because of the situations or any problems. So after that only that repentance and realization comes, and why we should not have done that, because they are also devotees of the Lord. They go to the Tirupati temples and do worship and so much of things, but they are not stick to these four regulative principles. So in that case, when we do certain things in that moment, and after we realize that we have done a great mistake, so how can we, even if we go and ask them, they take the advantage of the situation when we beg for forgiveness. So in that case, and after that also, when we introspect ourselves, or there will be a halt or something, some slow process of our bhakti progressing, like we can feel that, and we tend to think that it is because of that I'm not getting interest in class and not getting interest in chanting. So that change we can make out, Prabhuji. So what are we supposed to do, Prabhuji? Like, should we go and apologize in front of them, or rather should we go and apologize in front of the Lord? How can we tackle
Right.
this situation? This is Kali Yuga.
Right.
Certain things we have to say. What we have to say, we have to say.
All right. Yes, Mataji, I understood your question. So one thing is, all the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu santushthayena kenava sarvendri pashantya cha tushatyashu janardana. We have to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Then dayaya sarva bhuteshu. One should be merciful to all the living entities. We cannot offend. That may not fall under the category of Vaishnava Aparadh, but it will come under the category of Jiva Aparadh. So there is Vaishnava Aparadh is different, Jiva Aparadh is different. Then there is also Seva Aparadh and there is also Nam Aparadh. Nam Aparadh is different, Vaishnava is different. This comes under Jiva Aparadh. Okay, eventually some of these Jivas may also become Vaishnavas. Like that happened in case of Dhruva, who later became a Vaishnava. So because of that, Suruchi got the punishment of losing her son in the forest, and then also Suruchi was killed because she had offended somebody who became later a Vaishnava. If somebody becomes a Vaishnava in this very lifetime, we offend a Jiva, and he becomes a Vaishnava in this very lifetime, then that can be considered as a Vaishnava Aparadh. But he's going to become a Vaishnava after 100 years. So, sorry, not 100 years, 100 lifetimes. You spend time before this 100 lifetimes, if you perfect your life and go back to Krishna, there is no question of getting the reactions of a Vaishnava Aparadh. So before the Jiva, one should, uh, endeavor to, perfect his life. Anyway, so that is a technical aspect. Coming to the Jiva Aparadh, yes, definitely there is offense involved in it, because the Supreme Lord, Lord Kapila says in the third canto, he says, Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma vastita sada tam avajnaya mam martya kurte archa vidambanam. So the Lord is saying that Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma vastita. I am seated in everybody's heart as the Paramatma. When we are paying obeisances, pancha kalpatarubhyascha, we are actually paying obeisances not only to the Vaishnava, but to the Paramatma who is seated in their hearts. Not to this dead. Nobody pays obeisances. We are not paying the obeisances to the dead body. We are paying obeisances to the Paramatma seated in that person's body, and also to the Jiva to some extent. That is the meaning of obeisances. So, aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma vastita sada tam avajnaya. offending him, tam avagnyaya mam martya, foolish mortals, kurte archa, if they worship me in my deity form, vidambanam. It is foolish imitation of rendering devotional service. If you are going around offending people and then coming and worshipping me and asking forgiveness, oh Lord, I offended this jiva, that jiva, please forgive me. Okay, it is good. Asking forgiveness is good. But the Lord is saying that you offend and then you come and you simply do worship me, chant my holy name. Kurulte archa vidambanam. It's foolishness. So that is how it is. And the reason why it is painful, I'll tell you why it is painful. When somebody says anything to us or behaves in a very bad way, or insults us, abuses us, criticizes us, maybe on the road in front of everybody or whatever, it's very painful, it's very hurting. So we cannot tolerate it. We cannot tolerate it because we are deep in the bodily concept of life. Our bodily concept of life, the deep sense of belonging, that I am this body, is very deep rooted. That is why we are unable to tolerate it. And that is the reason why, we tend to react and we commit offense. That is Jiva Parad. So, number one should learn to tolerate. Second thing is, in the process of tolerance, it can be painful, but we have to learn to tolerate. If someone is genuinely abusive to us, there is nothing wrong in trying to correct him, stop him, control him by saying a few words. But it should not go to the extent of becoming envious of him. But somebody is, normally criticizing, normally abusing us, you should tolerate. One should learn to tolerate. It is very important. If we do not tolerate, then our bodily concept of life is very deep rooted. We are not ready to accept. We are not in that acceptance mode that something can happen like this to me. So, titikshavaha, karunikaha, suhrada sarvadehinam, ajata shatravah shanta, sadhavo sadhu bhushanam. If you want to wear the ornaments of a sadhu, then we need to have titiksha, karunika, suhrada sarvadehinam. Titiksha is tolerance, then karuna, mercy, suhrada sarvadehinam, seeing everybody as friend. Ajata Shatrava Shanta. Nobody should be an enemy to us. Then this is Sadhava Sadhu Bhushana. These are the ornaments. Titikshaya, Karunaya, Maitriya Chakila Jantushu, Samatvena cha Sarvatma, Bhagavan Samprasidati. If you want to satisfy the Supreme Lord, the solution is given. Titikshaya, tolerating everyone. Karunaya, showing mercy to everyone. Maitriya Chakila Jantushu, seeing everybody as a friend. Samatvena cha sarvatma, seeing everybody as the same. Bhagavan samprasidati. The Lord becomes very happy with us. He'll drag us back in the way to the spiritual world. So we have to learn. But yeah, you also mentioned something like, we may realize and we may go ask forgiveness, and then they may, take it for granted. They may abuse us further, or they may take advantage of it. Yeah, that is the nature of this material world. So the jiva is independent, and also know that for sure that when the jiva is behaving like that, even after you are asking, seeking forgiveness, if the jiva is, taking advantage of it, and then, trying to further abuse or trouble you or insult or whatever, take it for granted that this is happening under the will of the Supreme for purifying us, for helping us overcome the bodily concept of life. Because unless and until we do not overcome this, there is no question of overcoming dualities. So this is the will of the Lord. Accept it as the will of the Lord for my purification so that I can overcome the dualities of this world. Mana apamana. That's why, Prabodhananda Saraswati says, Sammana ghor garalam, Neech apamanam sudha. Sammana, glorification, respect, adoration is considered as poison. Ghor garalam means Kalakuta poison, more greater than cyanide. But neech apamanam sudha, offensive, abusive people, that is real nectar for our anthakarana. Why? Because this neech and apamana will simply crush our false ego. And by the crushing of our false ego, we actually rise above the dualities and the three modes of nature, and we are easily able to take shelter of the Lord. Initially, yes, it is painful. Yattadagre vishamiva pariname amritopamam. Initially, it is visha, very painful, but pariname amritopamam. In the end, it is nectar. One should face abuse, one should face criticism, one should face insults that will help us overcome the three modes, and it will also help us overcome the dualities of this material world, without which we can never practice bhakti in Shuddha Sattva and we can never go back to Krishna. So it is very important that if somebody is abusing us, we should accept it as Krishna's plan for my purification. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has mentioned, he made a very beautiful statement. He said that for those who are the sincere worshippers of the Supreme Lord, their path is strewn with thorns. Somebody who is very sincere in devotional service, their path is not with the rose petals. No, their path is strewn with thorns. That means there is only trouble for them at every moment. Don't think all the great souls or all the sannyasis in our ISKCON movement, they're all blissful, happy, always enjoying Krishna's protection, and only we are the ones who are suffering. No, it is nonsense. The trouble that they go through, we cannot go through even 0.01% of that trouble. Recently, my spiritual master was saying that, I have skin cancer, my both kidneys are failing, my liver is failing, I have MRSA, which is, deep-rooted bacterial infection. I have infection in my eyes. I have this problem. I have that problem. I have so many other things, but I'm very blissful in Krishna consciousness. But if that was a situation in our case, for the next 100 lifetimes, we would never even think of Krishna. He would say, how could he do it? How could the Lord punish me like this for my devotional service? I will never take shelter of the Lord. For the next 100 years, I will never practice Krishna consciousness. But the Lord knows we have no capacity. He knows what our Shraddha is, zero Shraddha. So that is why, the path is strewn with thorns. So we have to learn from great souls. All the great souls have gone through big, big tests. No great pure devotee has passed without going through examination. Jayadev Goswami's hands and legs were cut by foolish dacoit, and he was thrown in the well. And he was not screaming loudly and crying and saying, Lord, please protect me. How could I get punished? I'm your devotee. No, he didn't say that. He was singing bhajan inside the well for 5 days. And then the king of that, or the Odia province, he was passing through. Then he heard some bhajan, somebody loudly singing. He came, he saw hands and legs are cut. He's deep in the well. They took him out. They cured. He didn't ask for his hands and legs back. He was always blissful. He didn't complain. And the same offenders had come to the kingdom. And then, Jayadeva Goswami was serving them, trying to tell the king that, they had come in the garb of Vaishnavas. He was saying that, they are Vaishnavas, please serve them. So, but the dacoits, they got really scared. They thought now he's going to expose us, that, we were his, offenders, we were his perpetrators. So they ran away from there. But while running away, they told the minister of the king, this Jayadev Goswami is a big, big thief. Before we could expose about his reality, he wanted to chase us away. So that is why, we are running away from this kingdom. So make sure you punish him. As soon as they, uttered that lie, Mother Earth could not tolerate that great offense. Already they had offended, cutting his hands and legs. But when they spoke an utter lie, again to have him punished by the king, Mother Earth ripped open and simply crushed all these, demons in the form of, dacoits, and killed them. And then the minister, when he came back and he told the king, then the king was, really, amazed at the compassion and the love Jayadev Goswami had at his own offenders, who had come in the garb of Vaishnavas to the king's kingdom. And and casually at one point of time, while trying to stop the king from killing his queen, he just tried to stretch himself. He had no hands, and his hands automatically came out. What does that mean? It is not difficult for the Lord to give us hands or legs or wealth or happiness or whatever, to glorify the great devotees. How in such extreme situations also they take shelter of Krishna. To glorify them, the Lord puts them in such situations. And He knows we cannot. He knows our capacity. A little trouble, we'll give up. We'll throw our chanting bag outside in the dustbin. He knows He will not give us. So we have a very long way to go. So we have to tolerate. We have to tolerate all these people. We have to know that they are, acting under the direction of the Supreme Lord for our purification. They are acting under the modes which are set by the Supreme Lord, and it is for our purification. That is why the Bhagavatam, the 24 Gurus, the first verse, it talks about how it says, Bhutair akramya manopi dhiro daiva vashanugai tad vidvan na chalen margat anvashiksham kshiter vratam. So he says, Bhutair means all the living entities, different types of, family or boss or, mosquito, anyone. Bhutair akramya manopi, when they do akramana, when they attack us, when they trouble us, when they insult us, when they criticize us. Dhiro, the intelligent one, what does he do? Dhiro Daiva Vashanugai. They are under the modes of nature and they are just the agents of my own karma. They think they are in the modes of nature set by the Supreme Lord and they are the agents of my own karma. Dhiro Daiva Vashanugai Tad Vidvan Na Chalen Marga. He does not deviate from his Krishna consciousness. Anvashiksham Kshiter Vratam. I learned this lesson from Kshiti. Kshiti is Mother Earth. So Mother Earth is tolerant. So I learned this nature of tolerance, that when others attack me, when the others trouble me, they are the agents of my own karma. I have abused hundreds of other people in the past, and they are in this life, another person is an agent of my own karma, my own doing. I have done the mistake, so it is coming back to me. Lord Brahma is telling that Tattenu kampam susamikshamaana bhunjana eva atmakritam vipakam. One should tolerate bhunjana, accept, enjoy suffering. Eva atmakritam vipakam. Atmakritam vipakam means whatever sin that I have committed, the reaction of that will come. It may be coming through my father or through my mother or through my neighbor or through my colleague or through somebody. But they are only the agents of my own karma, my own doing. So I have to tolerate it. I have to accept it. If I do not accept, I can never grow. So that is why it is called, uh, Anvashiksham Kshitervatam. We learn this lesson from Mother Earth. We have to accept that they are the agents of my own karma and we have to tolerate it. We have to accept it. So many things we have done in so many lifetimes. We just cannot blame. We cannot blame others. We have to tolerate it. So the Lord arranges for it. The Lord arranges in such a way that, we have to accept it. We cannot become depressed. Going into depression also means, we have a thick false ego. It means the false ego is not ready to accept my mistake. So we go into depression, we go into anxiety, we go into so many things. But if one has a big heart and knows that I am the greatest offender, then when somebody else is offending me, I become blissful because I'm losing my karma. If that agent of my karma, if he is actually abusing me out of his own envy, he will get a separate reaction for it. That is between him and Krishna. We don't have to worry about it. You become blissful because I am losing my karma by tolerating. I'll tell you why. Maybe you are not understanding, but let me tell you a simple, very simple example. Somebody may tell, you know, maybe a wife is telling her husband, you know, she is telling that I will slap your face, which is not acceptable to the husband because it is a great insult. It is abuse, that too in front of, you know, everybody. But the wife will tell secretly to him that I will slap your face, but I will give you. Let's you know, turn it around. It may not look good, you know, wife slapping the husband. This is a very crude example. Please don't take it literally. Let the husband slap the wife. So again, you know, nothing against the Matajis or anything. This is a, you know, very crude, you know, foolish example. Husband wants to slap the wife because he has the money. So that is why I changed this. He tells her that I will give you 2 lakh rupees for every slap, but I will slap you in front of my parents. So what happens is the husband may slap her because she is very happy, you know, 1 slap, 2 lakh. You know, every day you give me 10 slaps, at least I'll earn 10, 20 lakhs. That is a great benefit I'm going to get. Every day she's eager to take the slaps because she knows the benefit behind it, which others don't know. But somebody else, maybe the neighbors or the parents, they think, oh, such a demon, you know, how much is he troubling his wife? You know, she's suffering so much. And also, he's not slapping her hard, he's slapping her a little. So, she is aware of the benefit. So, what happens, you know, even if the husband slaps her a little hard, it is bliss for her because, ah, 2 लाख मिल गया और एक 4 लाख मिल गया. She'll be blissful. And this is our situation. If you know, with every suffering that another jiva is giving us, we are losing several lifetimes of karma. We'll be very blissful to take and accept that abuse. That is why it is told, Samman ghor garalam nicha apamanam sudha. It is nectar to be in the association of those who criticize and offend us, because we burn off a lot of karma. We should be eager to take it because there is a great benefit which comes with it. So one should be very eager to take it. Nindaka niyare rakhe angan kuti chabaye bin saban pani bin nirmal kare subaye. You know, Surdas also says this, that keep a nindaka next to you. He is our real well-wisher because without sabun and pani, nirmal kare subaye. So he will completely cleanse our false ego. Our false ego will be crushed. When it is crushed, you know, when we are earning 2 lakh, here in this case, 2 lakh is nothing but 20 lifetimes, 40 lifetimes karma, you know, is crushing. We are purifying, we are overcoming, we are coming above the dualities, we are slowly overcoming the 3 modes of nature. Our devotional service will become blissful. It is only the false ego which is coming in between us. Sorry, I took too much time to speak.
Hare
So I
Krishna.
hope
Thank
this
you.
helps. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, wonderfully explained, Prabhuji. But the question keeps on disturbing me, Prabhuji. Like in the Mahabharata Bhagavad Gita also, when Draupadi was insulted in the Sabha, so I'm not able to understand, Prabhuji. Maybe I'm not qualified enough to understand that.
Why?
So
What is the problem? Okay, something happened in
when she was
Sabha. Yes.
insulted in the Sabha, so she takes a revenge. Like she wants to curse. I'm sorry if I'm telling wrong, Prabhuji. She wants to curse. Like even the Bhima also. He says that he will because Duryodhana wanted Draupadi to sit on his lap. So
Correct.
Bhima takes a vow that he will
Correct.
what,
Exactly.
he will break his
So
ties. So
Draupadi was
those
very
things.
upset that her husbands couldn't protect her. Draupadi was upset because Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitama also could not protect her. Draupadi was upset because none of these mortals, whether it is my senior family members nor my husbands, could protect me. So she took complete shelter of Krishna. She knew Krishna is the original protector and he is the only protector. She is aware because she is a Vaishnavi. There's no doubt about it. But she thought, let me try out with the process of Varnashrama. At least let my senior elderly parents or my husbands, my gurus, maybe they will protect me. First, I should approach them because they have been given by the Supreme Lord only. When those people only are failing, then she took the shelter of Krishna.
Why didn't she take it as a karma, Prabhuji? Like, why did she counter curse? Like, she said,
Yeah.
no, like the
Yes.
oil, I'll comb my hair
Correct. Correct.
only with the blood of. So, such things
Correct.
from a Vaishnavas, I'm not able to understand that, Prabhuji. So, that is why.
So yeah, certain things are there, Mataji. So yes, she may have cursed. Then Bhima took the vow, and he said that he will kill. So just this, see, the activities of devotees are orchestrated by the Supreme Lord. They do not come under karma. That much you have to accept.
Sure,
Draupadi
Prabhuji.
was not born through some normal delivery conception of a woman. No. She is a great soul. She is a pure devotee. She is an eternal associate of the Lord. Yes, there is a story of how she worships Lord Shiva. So that is one of the amshas into which Draupadi, the eternal associate of the Lord, she enters. So generally, the devotees of the Lord, the pure devotees of the Lord, the advanced great souls of the Lord who are associates of the Supreme Lord, they don't come under normal karma. They never come under normal karma.
Okay, Prabhuji.
That
I'm
we have
sorry.
to.
Apologize for taking all those names, Prabhuji, because these doubts keep coming in my mind.
We have to
So, they
hear,
are
Mataji.
Vaishnavas.
Very good. The doubts are very good. We have to keep hearing. We have to keep
Sure,
hearing.
Prabhuji. It is
Their
why I'm
life was orchestrated by the Supreme Lord.
sure,
She
Prabhuji.
never blamed Krishna for anything.
Yeah.
When Lord Krishna protected them all the time throughout their life. Even in the battle of Mahabharat, he protected. He made arrangement for Arjuna to kill Karna. He made arrangement for Arjuna to kill Jayadratha. He created the solar eclipse. He helped everywhere to kill Dronacharya, Bhishma, everyone. So the Lord always protected. Even the Ratha, when he moved out and the Ratha blasted. So he was always there. He was always protecting them. And when Draupadi's children were butchered, Draupadi did not question him. She didn't tell, Krishna, why didn't you protect my children? She knew that he is always protecting. So there is a reason why, my sons got killed. But out of, affection, motherly affection, she cried. She said, okay, all right, forgive Ashwathama, this is the will of the Lord. So she never complained. So she accepted. But certain situations are there in Mahabharata where, she became angry with Yudhishthira, she became angry with Bhima. That is, here and there, because she was in that Kshatriya blood. So there is some element of, she can't be completely like a Brahmani. So some element of Kshatriya blood is there. So that is why she acted. But nevertheless, they are pure devotees. They never come under the karmic reactions.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. It was my understanding mistake, Prabhuji, not able to understand that way. Hare Krishna.
You go
Not
on
cause of
hearing,
many
Mataji, you will get it.
offenses, Prabhuji. And I take, thank you, Dandavat Pranams, Prabhuji, for answering me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. And
Thank
thank
you,
you to all the
Mataji.
devotees. Hari Bol. Because at 11, there is another class, and this is 10:59. So just 1 minute left. We have to, I'm so sorry, Sona Mataji, Prashanti Mataji, and Krishnamurti Prabhu. We cannot take your questions. Maybe next time when Prabhu will come, you can jot down your questions and ask those questions again. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu
Nantakoti Vaishnava Jai, Srila Prabhupada Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shall I end the session, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.